Team Pointy Star Vio here. I'm going to talk about the card Ghostrick Parade today, a field spell with the following effect. Monsters cannot attack face-down defense position monsters, but can attack directly if all monsters their opponent controls are in face-down defense position. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can add one Ghostrick card from your deck to your hand. All damage your opponent takes becomes 0. While this card's on the field, you can't really do any kind of damage. Your Stein becomes practically useless, but there is some special things about it. And I'm just going to try and hit it all really quick within the next, 10 minutes or so. Starting off really quick, there's just the fact that it's a field spell. There's only 3 now, including this one. Ghostrick Mansion, which everybody knows what that does. Ghostrick Museum. Your opponent's attack, whenever a monster attacks, it's flipped face down. And there is no half damage. And this one where it says your opponent doesn't take damage, but you still do. Now, I would understand where some people might think this card is bad, but I'm going to argue that it is one of the best Ghostrick cards that has ever been released. The reason why is this makes it so that all the level 1 monsters you run are 100 times better. Because not only are you able to constantly search for the other cards that you need, but this card makes it so you can continue to use the level 1s, such as your opponent declares the attack, then you chain Lantern to the activation of the field spell. You get to summon the Lantern, negate the attack, and still get your search. This is just one of the many, many uses of this card that I think are just lovely out there. Another little silly use, your opponent declares a direct attack. You can add Mary, then you take the damage, you pitch the Mary, you summon something. It's just, this card in my opinion completely changes how the deck plays. I use 2 to 3, still working on numbers of stuff, and I'm using a monster spam deck where I can just use these cards to just get as many monsters on the field as fast as possible. This card just really helps this because you can negate and stop all the attacks that you want. Just keep stopping them. Your opponent keeps trying, you just keep stopping them, keep stopping them, keep stopping them. And when they do finally do damage, you go Mary, Mary, Mary. Use your other monsters to keep doing damage. It's just this card does everything that you need a card to do. It keeps your hand filled. It keeps your field filled. It gives you everything. You are unable to do damage to your opponent. But why is this okay? Because when you're done getting your field and hand set up, you are then able to search for the other card, the mansion, or the museum if you're playing that card, and you can activate the parade over these cards. In my opinion, Ghostrick Parade is probably the best field spell, besides the fact that you do need to be able to do damage eventually. But ignoring that, it's just this card really, it gives you everything that you need. It gives the deck the consistency and such that it needed, and it's in my opinion best card to open with. I love the card. Tell me below what you think, and if you think I'm wrong. Yeah.